This week on ANN, the Global Conference on Health and Lifestyle has kicked off at Loma University.
The Inter-American Division commits more resources to special needs ministries.
And Loma University wins an Emmy.
These stories and more coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
The third Global Conference on Health and Lifestyle kicked off this week at Loma University in the U.S. state of California.
The conference is hosted by the Health Ministries Department of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church.
The first global conference was held in Geneva in 2009 and has continued to expand. This is the first time the conference will be held in the United States.
The Health Ministries Department is partnered with Possibility Ministries, a ministry dedicated to working with people who have special needs. Leaders from Health Ministries and Possibility Ministries hope this emphasis inspires people to integrate those with special needs into the everyday life of their church.
The focus of this year's conference is to educate people about the inextricable relationship of the mind, body, and spirit. The aim is to show how each aspect of our existence influences the other.
This year's Global Health and Lifestyle Conference features sought-after speakers who will share personal and global research on how the brain and body interact and how lifestyle influences holistic health.
Among the presenters are Gary Frazier, longtime principal investigator of the Adventist Health Study, David Williams, a Harvard graduate and one of the most recognized scholars in the world, and president of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church, Ted N.C. Wilson.
We'll be back next week with a full report from the conference. But if you'd like to join the conversation, you can follow along with the hashtag GCHL19 and watch the live events on live.adventist.org.
Recently, those with special needs were celebrated during the Inter-American Division's territory-wide Special Needs Ministries Congress held in Villahermosa, Tabasco, Mexico. Nearly 200 regional administrators, directors, interpreters, caregivers, and those with special needs attended this first-of-its-kind territory-wide Congress. Guests were challenged throughout the four-day event to step up ministry to those with special needs in the church. Assistant to the Seventh-day Adventist World Church President for Deaf and Special Needs Ministries, Larry Evans, says we must follow Jesus' example of evangelism. That means the World Church must reach the 15% of the world's population, or 1.1 billion people who are considered disabled. Evans said the world has changed our thinking that a person is valued by what they can do and devalued by what they cannot do, and that thinking has limited even the kingdom of God. Could the mission of the church be limited by the way we look at each other? We must look at each other differently than the world has taught us. There needs to be a voice of hope speaking to all kinds of people. That voice is you and me. The Congress was intended to build a culture of inclusion, to change attitudes toward persons with disabilities or special needs, and to give new skills to caregivers and special need professionals to implement the ministry in every local church. The Congress included presentations and seminars on trends in special needs ministries, methods for teaching persons with disabilities, practical ways of assisting blind persons, and much more. For more information on the Congress and what the Adventist Church in Inter-America is doing for those with special needs, visit interamerica.org.
Mound City Films took home an Emmy at the 45th Annual Pacific Southwest Chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Emmy Award ceremony for its Life on the Line series episode about an Inland Empire teenager who received a heart transplant. Mound City Films was one of two film teams that won the Best Program or Special for the Health Science category. The production house's episode Love for Lexi followed a 16-year-old whose heart stopped just weeks after being diagnosed with a rare form of heart disease, which earned her a place on the heart transplant list. Following this tragedy, she was admitted to Loma University Children's Hospital. The episode shared her journey through the eyes of her doctors and family while they all fought for her life. Lexi eventually received a life-saving heart transplant and is now thriving. In 2016, Life on the Line won its first Emmy in the category of Health and Science for an NICU episode called Rough Beginnings. The following year, the show took home 7 Emmy Awards for its third season. This month's award was Mound City Films' 14th Emmy. Life on the Line is a real-life television show narrated by TV personality Lisa Ling that features compelling stories of hope and courage from Loma University Health. The series gives a unique, up-close look into the lives of those facing immense tragedy, revealing the resilience of humanity in the Inland Empire.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA, has created a one-of-a-kind humanitarian pin for Pathfinders to add to their uniforms. This pin will be offered for a limited time only at the 2019 International Pathfinder Camporee at Oshkosh, Wisconsin from August 12 to 17. The ADRA pin was designed in the shape of a star with three-pronged points symbolizing the mental, spiritual, and physical elements of a full education. The pin also consists of two parts, a smaller top piece and a larger back piece. When connected, the top piece with the flick of a finger will swirl. The word chosen is embossed on the top piece to match the Camporee's theme, along with ADRA's education campaign, Every Child Everywhere in School. Matthew Siliga, Vice President of Marketing and Development at ADRA, said, ADRA's pin represents the problem that kids missing out on school is global, and so is the solution. No matter where a child lives, ADRA will work hand in hand with our Adventist educators, women's, youth, and children's ministries, and with UNICEF and international governments to ensure every child everywhere has the chance to go to school. Collecting badges has been a Pathfinder favorite since the Camporee's start in 1985, and earning an ADRA pin will be a bonus for the more than 50,000 Pathfinders attending. In order to get the pin, Pathfinders must be in attendance at the 2019 Pathfinder Camporee. Pathfinders who collect 20 signatures for ADRA's education petition will receive the smaller top piece embossed with the word chosen and ADRA's education theme, Every Child Everywhere in School. To earn the larger back piece and complete the ADRA emblem with the spinner, Pathfinders must collect 50 signatures for ADRA's education campaign. Pathfinders who collect 100 or more signatures will receive an exclusive gold edition ADRA pin. ADRA is currently launching a global campaign to show support for the 262 million children around the world who do not attend school. Everyone is invited to show support by visiting adra.org/inschool and signing up and sharing the petition on social media.
Andrews University is one of only 139 universities and colleges around the world to be honored by Exercise is Medicine for its efforts to create a culture of wellness on campus. For the fourth year in a row, Andrews has earned gold level designation from the Exercise is Medicine on campus program. Andrews University launched the official wellness campaign in the fall of 2015. Since then, under the leadership of the Director for Wellness at Andrews University, Dominic Gumlett, the university has been focusing on transforming into the healthiest university, one life and one day at a time. Physical activity has been a particular area of emphasis. Lack of physical exercise has become one of the largest epidemics in this country, particularly in the academic setting. Gumlett was thrilled with Andrews University being honored, saying, "I'm incredibly grateful to the entire wellness team at Andrews University for support in the efforts to make physical activity a priority at our institutional setting. The culture here has been changing to embrace movement as part of our identity during employee and student gatherings and events. Of the 139 campuses recognized this year, 55 received gold, 56 silver, and 28 bronze. All gold, silver, and bronze universities and colleges were officially recognized as part of the 2019 Exercise is Medicine World Congress, held in conjunction with the American College of Sports Medicine's annual meeting. For more information, visit andrews.edu.
If you've ever dreamed of playing an Adventist board game, your wish may be granted by Christmas 2019. Kyle Morrison, Ministerial Intern and Events Coordinator for the Australian North New South Wales Conference, has created a board game tailored to Adventists called Go Ye.
Pairing strategic gameplay with Seventh-day Adventist history, identity, and mission, Morrison believes that he has created a game that all Adventists will love.
The game involves spreading the gospel across a world map of 58 conferences and 10 divisions and collecting total member involvement points by investing resources in mission trips, spiritual gifts, churches, and offices. Once every conference has a church, the second coming ends the game, and the player with the most total member involvement points wins.
The board game was developed by Morrison over 3 years with the help of some of his friends.
Morrison said that although anyone can play the game, the references built into the gameplay are very Adventist.
Morrison said he has been interested in creating content for the Adventist Church for a long time. His exposure to international pastors and evangelists while being an administrator for Arise Australia gave him a broader perspective of the Christian faith and inspired him to create content based on Adventist values.
In addition to producing Going, Morrison also hosts a podcast called Adventist on Fire, where he interviews notable Adventist personalities. He also plans to release a card game called Catch Canaan, based on the 12 tribes of Israel in the near future.
Coming up, Pathfinders plant coconut trees after a deadly cyclone in Tortola.
But up next, Adventist Community Services in North America continue to aid with cleanup after tornadoes sweep through the 3 states.
We may look, pray, read, think, worship, sing, and share differently, but we all look forward to the Sabbath. And we all look forward to the future when Jesus will come again. With this message in mind, we arrived at a core component for a new identity system, the creation grid. Regardless of what or where you are designing, you can always find information to help you communicate that we are all Seventh-day Adventists.
Welcome back.
The Midwest region of the United States experienced a tornado outbreak sequence throughout the month of May that left widespread devastation. The major weather event produced 300 tornadoes, including 18 EF3 tornadoes and 2 EF4 tornadoes.
The EF scale, or Enhanced Fujitsu scale, estimates wind speeds during a tornado. By looking at the amount of damage caused to different types of structures, scientists are able to assign the storm an Enhanced Fujitsu scale classification.
Adventist organizations and Adventist Community Services projects and partnerships in affected areas of Ohio, Missouri, and Arkansas mobilized to address the needs of residents who lost housing, water, and power in the aftermath and are continuing to provide long-term relief.
In Ohio, the Good Neighbor House, or GNH, which is supported by both the Ohio Conference and Allegheny West Conference, has supplied water, food, toiletries, and cleaning supplies to community members in need. GNH is also working with the United Way to coordinate volunteer efforts.
As of June 5, Kettering Adventist healthcare facilities have treated at more than 700 people with storm-related injuries. Hundreds are experiencing the effects of widespread power and water outages. The hospital made an initial donation of $10,000 to the food bank in Dayton to donate water, as reported by Visitor magazine. For 3 weeks after the tornadoes, Kettering also fed 700 people 4 nights a week.
On May 28, Ohio's Conference's Springfield First Church, which has been spared of the storm's devastation, began a drive to collect items for the tornado victims. Within 17 hours of starting the drive, multiple community groups, church, and community members donated more than 500 bottles of water. Volunteers also donated non-perishable food, personal hygiene items, cat food, and dog food.
In Missouri, the Adventist Community Services Disaster Response Team from the Iowa-Missouri Conference served more than 400 families through a warehouse operated in partnership with Capital West Christian Church. ACSDR also coordinated donation collections during a city-sponsored concert and a barbecue hosted by the Sheriff of Jefferson City.
ACSDR volunteers and other agencies opened the Multi-Agency Resource Center in Carl Junction, Missouri, for those who have been impacted by the recent tornadoes. In Arkansas, more than 500 families in Fort Smith are continuing to feel the effects of the storm.
In addition, local officials are carefully monitoring the Arkansas River, which has risen to a record-breaking level due to heavy rain from the tornado. The Southwestern Union and Arkansas-Louisiana Conference are also working to support communities in Arkansas and addressing the needs of residents housed in shelters.
Members of the Maranatha Seventh-day Adventist Church on the Caribbean island of Tortola recently planted dozens of coconut trees along the shores in an effort to beautify their island after the devastation left by Hurricane Irma. Pathfinders, leaders, and the church's community services ministries planted 69 trees near Trellis Bay, Beef Island, and Josiah Bay in the British Virgin Islands late last month. Coy Smith, Pathfinder counselor and deputy community service leader at Maranatha Adventist Church, said he shared a vision with the Pathfinder Club and membership to embark on a project to replenish the shorelines with coconut trees a few months ago. They began collecting coconut trees, and the 21 Pathfinders and volunteer members have been monitoring and watering the trees regularly each week in collaboration with several businesses that have agreed to assist. Pathfinder Director for the Maranatha Adventist Church, Cherise Creek, says this project taught our youth about being community-minded, giving back in a way that will have a lasting impact, sharing their faith with others by explaining the activity and providing a growing opportunity to partner with government agency and several other community members. Most importantly, Pathfinders were able to step out in faith with this project, and the Heavenly Father provided more trees than we had imagined or would have been able to collect on our own. Winfredo lives in a coastal village in the Philippines that is only accessible by boat. He has found the ADRA Embrace training to be excellent.
He says the new ideas and concepts that ADRA shared has been helpful and healthful.
ADRA Canada has more.
Bulalakayo is a small village perched on a beautiful coast in the Philippines. We are very isolated. There are no roads into our village. The only way to get to markets or services is by boat. ADRA has been excellent for us. The training that they have provided has been practical and helpful. The ADRA educators who have come have always been very good at explaining how the ideas they were sharing would benefit us and our children. This has made it very easy to adopt new practices into our lives that we would never have considered before. Let me give you some examples of what I mean. When my wife got pregnant last year, we started following the principles that we learned from Embrace. The first thing that we did was switch to a nutritious, balanced diet with no junk food or processed foods. Every day, I would bring home fresh organic greens and vegetables from the garden that ADRA taught me how to grow. We made sure that she got all of her checkups, immunizations, and supplements. Now that the baby is here, we are taking her out for a sunbath every morning. My wife is going for walks outside and getting fresh air and sunshine as she recovers. With the gender sensitivity training that ADRA taught us, I have realized that there is no shame for men to do housework. I have taken up all of the household chores so that my wife can rest. I cook, I clean, I wash the clothes, and I tend to the children. Actually, I can say that ADRA has helped me become a better husband and a better father. Now, even when I'm very busy, I do my best to spend quality time with my children. These are all new ideas that have never been practiced in our culture, but they are proving to be very healthful and helpful. We are so happy and thankful that ADRA has come to share these things with us in our village.
Coming up, Victoria is here to tell you how you can use social media to promote your brand.
But up next, Adventist Mission has a story on how a hospital visit changed a life.
May I work in with you, young fella?
Go for it.
That's the way you do it. Gotta put a little weight on it. Well, I'll put it back up here for you.
Welcome back.
Sunil was working at his office when he started feeling dizzy.
He was rushed to the hospital and learned that his life would never be the same.
Adventist Mission has more.
I was working in the office. All of a sudden, I was feeling dizzy and my head started swinging. They took me to hospital and the doctor examined me and told me that you've got diabetes. That's when I came to know that I had diabetes. My name is Sunil Dutt and I'm 58 years old.
A deadly pandemic is sweeping across the South Pacific, where the world's highest incidence of type 2 diabetes is found. In Fiji alone, 1 in 3 people are diagnosed with this disease. For many patients, diabetes leads to serious complications, such as amputation. Today, 80 people will have an amputation in this region. That's 1 amputation every 10 minutes.
Then they transferred me to CWM hospital, where I was told that through the diabetes I have got heart attack. And that's the time, first time I had a feeling that I'm finished now. I had my operation. Through that cause of diabetes, the blood was not flowing properly. Ten times I went to operating theatre in Fiji, and they had to cut 10 times, part by part, and today I don't have both legs. You can see the both legs finished. So I didn't think about my health at that time because I was young, I was powerful. That thing didn't affect me same time. But once in the hospital, then I started feeling that what I have done to my life. And that's how I got my leg off. Without leg, there is nothing left in my life now. I was so active. And today I'm like, I cannot go anywhere. Just because of my leg. It doesn't allow me to go anywhere. As you can see, my family is affected too much, especially my wife. Without her, I'm dead. Through her, I survived. And today I'm still alive. If she was not there, I could have died by now.
Like Sunil, many people in the South Pacific are at risk of losing their toes, their limbs, or even their lives to type 2 diabetes. But the Seventh-day Adventist Church is determined to do something about it. Adventist Health and ADRA have partnered to launch the public health campaign called the 10,000 Toes. The campaign seeks to save the lives and limbs of people affected by this tragic disease through a multi-stage approach. A portion of your 13 Sabbath offering this quarter will provide patients and their families with user-friendly diagnostic kits for early detection of type 2 diabetes. Part of your gifts will also help implement community-based programs that encourage the public to take charge of their health. Your support will train medical professionals to help stamp out diabetes in the South Pacific. The people need your help and prayers. Thank you for your support of the 13 Sabbath offering.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting adventistmission.org. Then click on videos at the top.
What is digital marketing and how can it help you?
Victoria Turrentine is here to tell you how you can use this new tool to help promote your brand.
Are you trying to grow your business? Here are some resources you can use to market your production. According to wearesocial.com, there are 7.6 billion social media users around the world. That's 56% of the population. Every day, someone is clicking, sharing, and posting. You can use social media to grow your brand. It's called digital marketing. It is used to display advertising, marketing products and services, and knowing your audience. But you must first ask the question, what do people want? Once you realize what that need is, you can then begin to design your page and post what catches a person's eye. Secondly, find out what's trending. How effective is your product to consumers? However, one thing you shouldn't do is use your personal profile. Instead, create a business profile. Visit facebook.com. Under sign up, you can click create a page. Select the option that best describes your business. Create your page name and category. And from there, your new business profile will be added to your personal profile under a different page. By creating a business profile, you are able to track results, data, demographics, engagements, and create ads. Visit business.facebook.com and create an account. Once you're all set up, you can add your Facebook business page, create ads, and keep up with your reports of your product. The website is also available to answer your questions. Let digital marketing get you the numbers you need to succeed. Stay blessed and stay safe.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to Michael Yonker for a look at Adventist history.
This week, Adventism is advanced through the work in the French language.
One of the most important features of the early Adventist movement was its ability to reach people from many places, speaking many different languages. Being positioned in the United States, a more open-minded Protestant nation with many immigrants, helped encourage and facilitate such efforts. This week in Adventist history, we remember one of the early pioneers to advance the work in the French language. Born in Saint Armand, Canada, and growing up in Vermont, Augustin Cornelius Bordeaux proved a very capable leader of Adventism's early efforts to reach French-speaking people in both Canada and Vermont. Born into a family that joined the Baptist faith, Augustin Bordeaux, alongside his brother Daniel, decided to become preachers. The two of them would remain preachers their entire lives, but their message would shift to embrace Adventism after Augustine accepted the Sabbath in 1856 through his wife Charlotte's brother. The following year, he was baptized and ordained to the Adventist ministry, and his brother Daniel joined him the next year. They both worked closely with James and Ellen White early in their ministries. Like many of the early pioneers, following their example, the Apostle Paul, Augustine also spent some time working with his hands as a self-supporting preacher. He spent 8 years as a carpenter and joiner while preaching. Later, however, he also helped organize the Vermont Conference in 1862, where he also served as president. Working in a variety of places, his most notable contribution was in Quebec with French speakers, where he helped organize their new conference. Later, from 1884 to 1888, he traveled to Europe, where he spent time colporteuring in France, Switzerland, Italy, and Romania. Contracting black typhoid fever brought him back to the U.S., where he continued in ministry for some time. Born in 1834, Augustin Bordeaux passed away this week, July 7th, in 1916. That's This Week in Adventist History. Au revoir.
Thank you for watching A&M. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We'd love to hear from you. Send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
Be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos, then write up a summary of the event's important details. And feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verses 10 and 11.
The passage says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For through wisdom your days will be many, and years will be added to your life."
And that's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.